What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Real Junkies. I am your host, Farhan, here again with my man Vito. And the streaming platforms have been very kind to us earlier this year. They gave us another,
Thankfully.
I ain't gonna say iconic duo, but another duo, a duo we really haven't seen together at all, and Batista
I don't think
and
ever.
Jason Momoa ever. I was
I
like,
don't think
the
we've
duo
ever
we
seen
haven't
that.
seen ever. With the Wrecking Crew, new film on Amazon Prime. And I gotta admit, like you said, a duo I wasn't expecting. When I saw it, I was just intrigued off the fact that I'm a fan of Batista. Who's turned himself into a great actor, by the way, since he's retired from WWE. I don't know how much y'all have been following Batista's career outside of Guardians of the Galaxy. This man has turned himself into a legit actor now. Jason Momoa, who, I mean, we're all familiar with his work. I don't think anything further needs to be said there. And a not a buddy cop film, but something of that type of, it has that kind of feel
I
to it, a
think we
buddy
can
comedy,
say
I'll
instead
say.
of buddy cop, like I was trying to figure this out last night. I was like, it's an action movie, but it's an action buddy comedy. But like I say,
Yeah, buddy comedy,
it's
yes.
usually buddy cop that we get. It's usually not
Mhm.
like this. So
Yeah. Yeah, buddy cop for sure, or I'm sorry, buddy comedy for sure, I think is a better way to describe it. And it follows the story of, well, it starts off with their dad, actually, because they play brothers in this film. Starts off with their dad, who gets killed by the Yakuza, which is not a spoiler, this is all in the trailer. Their dad gets killed by the Yakuza, and the film is the mystery of them trying to figure out what the hell was our dad into to where the Yakuza wanted to kill him. And it's, about as wild and off the wall and crazy of an adventure as you would expect for a movie with that plot to have, starring Jason Momoa and Batista. One thing I did really like is for this to be Batista and Jason Momoa's first time working together, at least as far as we know, their charisma on screen is crazy. Like the way they play off of each other, the way they are in their scenes together, I thought that was a perfect match. Like I didn't know that that was a combination I needed until I saw this movie. But if you tell me we're getting another Batista and Jason Momoa combo in another film after this, I'm with it. Sign me up, because them two together was the highlight of this by far. Um,
you know
in my
what?
opinion, at least.
I would be interested in seeing another Batista Jason Momoa movie, but for me, I thought that, like I said, I thought the way that they played off of each other was good as feuding brothers.
Mhm.
I think that there is a resolution at some point in the film, and I feel like the way that happened, I feel like everything was just too quick after that. I feel like them making up was too quick. I feel like there's still gonna be some type of resentment because, again, you've been carrying
Mhm.
this baggage around for all these years. I don't care what y'all are going through. This is not just gonna go away like that.
Yeah.
So, that was my only thing, and I actually hated Batista's character in this because he was
Really?
just he was just dude, like, he was kind of he was a dick. He was a dick
Yeah.
to Johnny, and, yeah, he was just a dick, man, and it was just weird because it was very unprompted, like, some of the shit that he would say to him. It's like,
He did say some off the wall. So, yeah,
you're
so
trying
like I
to
said,
start a fight.
they play brothers in this. Batista plays James Halley and Jason Momoa plays Johnny Halley. And
Half
the movie
brothers.
kind half brothers. The movie kinda sets up this resentment they have towards each other just based on what their family dynamic was growing up. The dad, started a family, had Batista's character first, and then stepped out on Batista character's mom, James's mom, and Johnny is the product of basically him having an affair. So just off of that whole situation right there, there's just resentment between the brothers because Batista, and they touch on this in the film, Batista's character feels like Johnny is like, he's like basically the embodiment of my dad stepping out.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? He's the living, breathing reminder of that. Um, so there's a lot of trauma from their childhood, a lot having to do with their dad and his actions that cause resentment between these two characters. And you see constantly throughout this movie
Like,
Batista's character
literally.
just doing some of the most like off the
Nagging.
wall asshole things to his brother. And it gets to the point where, like, at first the film sets it up where, James, he's the more responsible brother. He's a retired Navy SEAL, has a
He's not retired.
family.
He's still working.
Or they set it up as they say he's still working. He
He's
seems like
still
a
working.
trainer at that point. Like, he didn't seem like he was
That
still
nigga was working. He was
in
in
this
uniform.
movie. He was working, but I
Yeah,
don't
he
think
he was in uniform at one point, like,
he
working.
was in uniform at one point. You're right. He was in uniform at one point.
I had a
You're
problem
right,
with
you're
that. Like, I got some problems, but
yeah.
yeah, like you said, he's the responsible one, and then you cut to Johnny and
Just a loose cannon. Loose
he
cannon. Loose
he
cannon.
and he's not he's a cop on an Indian reservation or a Native American reservation.
Yeah.
Um, but when you see him, I mean, even when you see the trailer, I'm thinking that he's about to be like some hardcore biker gang member or some shit like
Yeah.
that. And then his James is responsible, Navy SEAL, whatever. And he turns out he's a cop. He's just I don't want to say irresponsible, but he is. You
Yeah,
know,
irresponsible, just kinda going on he just kinda lives life a little recklessly and a little more
yeah.
carelessly than James does. James is much more put together, much more responsible, family oriented, so just off of how the brothers operate, they're very different, and when the film starts, I feel like I kinda started to gravitate towards James, like, yeah, your brother is a little bit of a wild boy, but after seeing once you start to see their interactions more, I kinda started feeling for Johnny a little bit like, "Okay, I'm sorry, bro, your brother's a dick." Like,
I ain't
there's
gonna
just
hold
no
you
way
up.
around it.
I I never gravitated to him for the simple fact that you couldn't call him and tell him that his father died.
Okay, that you're right. That was the first time I was like, "Damn, bro, it's like that?"
And even when the wife called, the funeral was the next day.
Yeah.
First of all, do you know how much a ticket to Hawaii costs? Let alone a
A
ticket
last
from
minute
fucking
Hawaii?
what was it,
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma
Yeah.
to Hawaii? Nobody's flying from Oklahoma to Hawaii often. So you got some transfers in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, a
oh,
few
so like,
layovers.
and it's just the way she's and she's mentions that at one point. She's like, "Did you call Johnny? Did you tell him? Oh,
Mhm.
he doesn't take my phone calls. Leave a voicemail."
Yeah, like,
Like,
you should try to get in
like
contact with your
that
brother, the fact that your dad just died.
that's a terrible thing to do. And then at the funeral, when and I'm sorry, I'm giving away a little bit too much, but at the funeral, their cousin asks him like, "Hey, is Johnny coming?" He goes, "Oh no, you know how he is. He's not coming." First of all, you didn't call him,
You didn't
so
even give him the opportunity, like, you
you
don't
don't
know that.
even he don't even know that his wife called yet.
Mhm,
So like
mhm.
you making him look like a shitbag to the family as well.
And you
So
didn't
like
even call to let him know. Yeah, that's
so like
you're
the
right,
whole
actually,
time
Imma
for
get that
me,
yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, I don't know." So, it does come off as you look at me as a disappointment because
Mhm,
I'm the side's mother or side
mhm,
son,
mhm.
and, that's it.
Yeah, no, it was a I and because their dynamic was like that throughout the movie, I am kind of with you on as the film plays out, it gets a little rushed, I feel like, how their relationship starts to improve. But honestly, as this film progresses, a lot of things feel rushed. Like, I feel like this film had a very good setup as far as those two and their dynamic and their feud and setting up Johnny's history on that island and possible reasons why he ended up moving to Oklahoma in the first place, setting up like James and who he is as a character, setting up their dad and some of the things he was into. You start to learn their dad is a little bit more involved in the criminal underworld than we initially thought. Like there's a lot of things they set up in those first few acts and things they show that I felt were very well executed, and the action scenes beginning and towards the beginning of the film,
The
I'll
action
say,
scenes were
were
probably
actually
the
pretty good,
strongest. So
especially there's a scene where the Yakuza show up to Jason Momoa's house. That was probably
yeah,
one of my
yeah,
favorite
yeah, yeah.
scenes in the movie, I'm not gonna lie.
I'll say that the action scenes are probably the strongest thing of this movie. The story was okay, but I think where they lost us was when they started trying to do backstory stuff. So,
Mhm.
like you said, even with Jason Momoa's character and why he left Hawaii, like you get that he's into it with people, but there's never like a reason why. They don't get into that.
Yeah,
Um, they don't. Neither one of the sons have a good relationship with the father. They don't really get into why. Um, they don't get into the why of or the interactions with their mothers. They don't get into we learn at some point that James is raising Johnny.
yeah,
And that to me, that shit came out of nowhere. I'm like, wait. What? Like, so like
yeah, they
it's a lot of this the story itself is okay. It's good. But when they start doing that backstory stuff, that's where they start to lose focus and they start like I said, it's rushed in a lot of parts.
yeah.
Um
Yeah, I felt like they were kinda just adding in things as the
yeah.
story went on
Like, oh,
that were
now he
kinda
was
out of the
raising them.
blue.
Like, what?
Yeah, they added in a lot of out of the blue details as the story went on that didn't really have any setup. Um, but to wrap up, I'll say, like, some of my positives, like I said, action scenes, I thought outside of one that we'll get into later, um, I thought the action scenes for the most part were
I know
really well
exactly which
done.
one you're talking about now because
Yeah,
I
bro,
was like,
that
"Yo,
scene
what
made
the
me
fuck?"
so mad. The action scenes, especially the hand-to-hand fight scenes
Yeah,
involving Batista's character and with Jason Momoa, I thought were very well done. The buddy comedy aspect between Jason Momoa and Batista, I thought was well done. I thought the polar opposites of their characters played off well with each other. Jason Momoa's comedic timing just himself. Like he stole the show in this. I have to give him some credit as well, just on his personal performance, not even just his dynamic with Batista. And this is like a classic shove popcorn in your face and turn your brain off type of movie at a lot of parts. There's
yeah.
parts where they try to add in some emotional weight and emotional levity, but
They're not really good.
it's like done in like like a post Endgame Marvel movie type of way, and I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way, but like, do you know? And I'm sure people will identify with this, like in the post Endgame era of the MCU, how people complained that there would be a scene of like very heavy dramatic weight, and it'd be followed like right up with a joke, like it'd be followed up with a joke immediately. This film does that a little bit, but it's not as blatant. Like they kind of pepper it in a little bit better,
Yeah.
in my opinion, but it does kind of go back and forth of like, all right, here's a scene of strong dramatic tension, and the brothers aren't seeing eye to eye, and then like the next scene will be some goofy shit. So like they
They
kind of balance it out.
see, to me, they pepper it in there, but they peppered it in a lot. So, like,
Yeah,
at one point, I'm like, "Yo, these niggas are just cursing to curse at this point."
yeah,
Like like, I
yeah.
think, the part where they first met Ned, or his name what's his name? Pico in this?
He called my nigga Ned. Yeah,
That's what
Pika is his name in this
you
movie.
know, when they see him, I'm like, "Yo," like, so Jason Momoa's character is really his character the most of the time.
Hmm.
And I feel like they did that for him because people give The Rock a lot of shit for playing The Rock, but when you think about it, it's a lot of actors that play themselves.
Hmm. Jason Momoa was playing Jason
Jason
Momoa for
Momoa is
sure.
one of them. Like,
Jason Momoa was playing Jason Momoa in this
Jason
movie.
Momoa is Jason Momoa. So I'm really interested to see how he is in Supergirl as Lobo
Hmm.
because everything else I've seen him in recently,
Yeah.
he plays himself. The first thing I seen him in was in a was an old TV show. It's called Stargate Atlantis.
Hmm.
And he was a technically he was an alien, but he's a human, but he's an alien because he's from not Earth.
Hmm.
Um, and that's the only time because he doesn't look like he does now. He
Yeah.
does not look like he does. But now, like I said, every time I see this motherfucker, he I don't even know how to describe him. Like he's just if you've seen Aquaman, you've seen him in this.
Yeah,
I
pretty
I,
much. It's a very similar performance for
I thought
sure.
it was dope that they brought say his name for me, Morris Jango
You
Fett.
talking about? Oh,
Oh, Tamura.
ooh,
It's
his
Tamura.
last name's Morrison.
Morrison, Tamura Morrison, the guy that played,
Okay, I was about to say
Jango Fett, Boba Fett.
you can attempt that first
I
name if
hope
you
I
want
said that
to.
right. Um, but again,
Tamora seems right. Yeah,
I'm
we're gonna
glad to
roll with
see
that.
him in more stuff. Like I said, we didn't see him in a bunch of stuff on this side of the
Yeah,
world, after Star Wars. And then,
honestly, yeah.
I think the next time I seen him in something big was Aquaman as Aquaman's father,
Hmm. He
or adopted
was in
father.
that. He
Um,
was. I forgot he was in that.
yep.
But yeah,
So,
he like kind of when he first popped on screen, definitely good, especially when you've seen a lot of movies, you have those instances where you see an actor, you're like, I know who that is, but I don't know where I've seen him
yeah,
in. And I was looking at him like that the entire film. I'm like, I know I've seen this
man.
actor in something. I know who this person is. For the life of me, it's not clicking where I've seen him in. Then I was like, oh, Star Wars, that's Boba Fett, or slash Jango Fett. And it finally clicked. His character was there. That's
It's
about it's about as much as I can say about him. Like his
so
character, he was just there.
so
That's
like you
really
said, like, adding stuff, his character was there, their cousin was there.
yeah. It's a
There's
lot of
a lot
characters
of
that were just there because the script was like, well, it can't just be Batista and
so
Jason Momoa.
Imma
Like it's got to be
say
side characters.
there's a lot of because the script says so. A
Yeah,
lot of it. The
yeah,
introduction to Ned, um, Jason Momoa's girlfriend, like, that shit is so that whole thing was so wild and just, like, even her backstory of what she does for work and the premise of the biggest thing around the story that they get to I can't think of what I'm trying to say, not premise. The biggest one of the biggest things that they're dealing with is something that involves her. It's
yeah.
something that only she would know.
Hmm.
So, it's a lot of that because like I said, you get, James's wife, who's a child psychologist, who she's diagnosing them all the fucking time. Every time you see her, she's diagnosing somebody.
Yeah.
You got the cousin that works in the governor's office, who she knows how to read fucking blueprints now for some reason. And she plans events, but now she knows how to read all the blueprints and shit. You got Ned or Pico, who first of all, we see this motherfucker, and I think they called him a little naked spider monkey or some shit like that. Johnny did
Yeah, he called him, he called him like,
a
he called him
hairless
Jackie
monkey.
Chan.
Yeah, he called him Fat Jackie Chan
He
because
called him Fat Jackie Chan. I was like, he called him something Jackie Chan,
this
yes.
nigga started doing parkour, which again,
Out the
like
blue.
out of the fucking blue. Our
Out of the
first
blue.
introduction to him, he throws something, runs out. He's flipping off roofs, flipping off balconies,
Doesn't
bro.
do this again for the rest of the movie, mind you.
He doesn't do
Like,
anything else.
doesn't do anything
And
like
he's
that for the
like,
rest of the
"I'm a
film.
hacker."
Like, nigga, I just watched you do like 3 backflips in a row. What do you mean?
Yeah, it
You're a
was very
hacker.
weird. Like I said, it's a lot of because the script says so,
Yeah.
but it's not too bad till we get to that one point that you're talking.
Yeah, and I gotta just rip the Band-Aid off.
Do it.
So like I said, this movie, for the most part, it's a fun time. Shove popcorn in your face, turn your brain off. Good chemistry with at least 2 of the characters. And I started off by saying the action scenes in this I thought were very well done, and for the most part, I stand on that. A lot of the scenes in this movie were actually very well done, especially the ones involving the Yakuza. There's another set of villains in this movie. I'm not gonna go too deep into them, but think like, a villainous rich guy, right? Like, I'm just leave it at that. Think that there's another subset of villains that fit in that category in this movie. And if you've seen the trailer for this movie, you saw that there is a really big action set piece on a freeway involving a helicopter. I can't remember what that scene looked like in the trailer. Watching
I
it
don't even
in the
remember it.
movie was one of the most jarring things I've experienced in a long time. For one, every car on this freeway blatantly looks like CGI. Like,
Dog.
they're not even trying to hide it.
I thought I was tripping as I'm
You're
watching.
not tripping.
I was a little further from my TV than I usually am. As I'm
Mhm.
watching, I'm like, that looks weird as fuck.
It looks fake. It looks very fake. Like, and then but like everything in the scene looks that
Yeah,
way, except for when the camera's in the car
in the car
with James
with the
and
cast.
Pika and all the characters. Like, once it pans out and we're looking at the helicopter and the other cars, everything looks fake. So
It's
we're already
terrible.
off on a bad start with this thing, just visually. Then they proceed to go on what I can only describe as a Fast and Furious style chase between this helicopter and the minivan that our main characters are driving in.
Minivan.
And they murdered at least
Dog.
at least 50 people because every car on this freeway
Blew
is
up.
either flipped over, blown up, or is basically flipped off the freeway.
Imma say more than 4 fucking or more than 50 died, were murdered because even when when the helicopter first comes up, it starts by mowing down, like, 4 or 5 cars behind them.
Behind them before they even start shooting at them.
Doesn't
Like, it
even
was
touch them yet. And, even that whole scene was, like, very weird because, 1, how do you know where they're at right now? Like, there's a lot of like we said before, there's a lot of because the script says so. The script
yeah,
doesn't why they're here, what they're trying to do. They don't know. So like
yeah.
it's very weird that they just came out of nowhere. And the whole time that this is happening, all I'm thinking is, where's the government? Because there is no way that you have a helicopter on a major freeway mowing
Shooting at
down
people,
cars.
mowing
Nobody's
people
called
down.
police, whatever. And especially where they're at, and then fucking, I'm sure there's an air base there somewhere. They would have been blown out the
Like,
sky.
this
There's
this
no
would
way
not
in hell
they wouldn't have
that
been able to
this
get off like this.
this
And
nigga was
what made it
mowing
even worse
people down.
what made it even worse is they don't like, there's no newscasting. There's nothing in the film
That
addressing the
shit
fact that a helicopter was mowing people down on the freeway.
and
Like,
crashed and
and
blew up
crashed and blew up. This is
because
not addressed after this.
first of all, yeah, a helicopter involved in the crime, cool, police could take that. Helicopter involved in a freeway shooting of that scale, the feds are coming in. Then a
Like,
crash, the feds are
then
coming
it
in.
crashed?
So
Like,
so like I said, they literally go from that scene to that. I want to say that was I'm not great with acts. Was that the end of act 2 going into act 3, or is
I
that
would say
the
that's act
beginning of
3
act
at that
3?
point because immediately after that scene is when they're looking at something on a computer. I ain't gonna say
Uh-huh.
what they're looking at, but
It's
that's the
stupid.
scene where, things start to unravel. So, like, that's to me, that's the 3rd act. So, at that point and I get it, like, I'm not even mad at them having an action scene where let's just say, because I don't even know if they set this up to where there's a certain something that the Yakuza are after, and you find out that has a lot to do with the events of the film and how they played out. So I wouldn't have even been mad if they were like, oh, they had a tracker on this thing, and that's how they knew where their car was at and how to send the helicopter there. They don't set that up at all.
At all,
Like,
nothing.
not that I can remember. They don't establish that. This helicopter just appears out the blue, starts mowing people down,
Oh,
and
oh,
then
I do
well,
wanna, because there
go
is
ahead.
a part in that helicopter scene that
Mhm.
is good, and it's when the motorcycles come out of nowhere. Because
See, I
'cause
couldn't
again
even enjoy that because even
uh,
that part was goofy.
again, like we said, they're on the freeway getting blown cars are getting blown up behind them. Somehow this helicopter did not blow their minivan up, but
All
all
these
these
other
other
cars
cars.
are torn to shit, but their
But
minivan is still is
then
still
2
going.
motorcycles come out of nowhere, and there's a obviously, there's gonna be a fucking fight with the
Of course,
minivan.
because why not?
'Cause why not? I thought that was good. I thought it was good because this is gonna be my feel for the whole movie, which I wanted to mention. This movie felt I always talk about, like, the nostalgia of, like, a '80s action film. This felt like a '90s action film. This felt like something that
Yes.
fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone should be in, because I don't think there was really any brown or black action stars like that outside of, like, Wesley Snipes, Michael Jai White,
I was about to say Wesley,
um
but that's if we're talking '90s action stars, Wesley's the
yeah.
main one that comes to mind.
So, but like big, I mean, I think Wesley's bigger than Arnold, but like Arnold was bigger
Uh,
than Arnold's bigger
yeah.
than so him and
I'm more of a fan of Wesley, if we
yeah.
gonna put it that way, but
So
yeah,
like
bigger, than Arnold, that's it's
so
tough.
that's what it gave me the feel of like throughout the whole movie, it's like that '90s nostalgia. That's why like before we started, I told you like I feel like it's higher than what I want to give it, but I know it's not as high
Yeah,
because of the issues that I have.
yeah,
But it definitely has that '90s feel of an action film. Like, that's
absolutely.
every time it happened. I wanna say the first action scene outside no, I'm sorry, the second action scene, because there was the fight at the, house,
Mhm,
and then it was them in the car.
mhm.
They shot a fucking hot dog stand, and a hot dog stand blew up. Hey, when I tell you, bro, I lost my shit because there were again, what do you look for? What do you see in action movies? A lot of shooting, a lot of
Mhm.
blood, a lot of random ass explosions. And there were
Random ass
so
explosions.
many random explosions in this
Things that
fucking
shouldn't have
movie.
been blowing up are just blowing up. Like, it felt like Michael Bay was on the stunt team for this movie. He
You
was just
know,
like, "Let's put an explosion here," but that doesn't make sense. I said, "Put an explosion here."
it reminded me of that scene in 21 Jump Street when they're in the car and they're on the chase,
Yeah,
before the play, and they're
yeah,
like, "That's gonna blow up," or they do that throughout the whole movie, but
yeah,
especially that part. Like, it's a
yeah,
gas tank, it's flying, it's like, "It's gonna blow, get down," and nothing happens, and then the
yeah,
last thing is like, I think something hit a chicken truck, and the
yeah.
chicken truck blew up.
I was like, "Huh?"
We need another 21 Jump Street. We need 23 Jump Street. Maybe a new cast, obviously, because these niggas aren't old now. They were old
I'm
then.
with it as presently constructed, actually,
Fucking old
to
ass
be honest
Channing
with you.
Tatum in school.
Yes, I would take that. I don't care. I'll take that.
Uh, but like that's what and 21 Jump Street was making fun of action movies doing that with things just
Yeah.
blowing up. I don't think they were making fun of it, which
No, they
makes
were
it even
being dead ass.
funnier.
They were being
Um,
dead ass.
and oh, there's one thing I can't forget. I want to give a shout out to our beautiful black queen Tim's, because there is no black people in this movie. Um,
Yeah, I was wondering where you was going with this. I was like, there
yeah.
wasn't one in here.
I
So
have no clue what either Jason Momoa or Batista. I know Batista like part
Batista's
Portuguese, I
Filipino.
think. Filipino.
Batista's Filipino. I'm not sure what Jason Momoa is. I'm gonna be
I mean,
completely honest with you.
and that part is funny to me, dog, because I think I don't know. I don't know if Jason Momoa is fucking Samoan. I assume he is with the name Momoa.
He
That
looks
sounds like
Samoan, but
Samoan
I don't
shit.
know.
But
Yeah.
him and Batista are very racially ambiguous,
Yeah.
and that's everybody in this film. It's pretty
Yes.
racial, except
Everybody in this movie is racially ambiguous.
yeah, the cousin is she's a New Zealand Samoan. First time I seen her, that's Frankie Adams. First time I seen her was on, and I'm gonna wrap this up quick because I'm rambling. First time I seen her was on the TV show The Expanse. Fucking great show. If you've never seen it,
Heard of these fans.
dog, beautiful show. If you like sci-fi shit, it's sci-fi, but it's rooted in science and not fiction.
I'm gonna
Um,
check that out. The Expanse. Okay,
and she was late. The latest thing she was in was she was in the new Call of Duty. But she's one of
that's
the
random.
one random as hell. She's one
That's
of the
random.
characters in the story mode and playable
Okay.
now. But,
Hmm.
yeah, no, everybody in here is pretty racially ambiguous. I think the guy that plays K of the K Boys, he's Native American.
Hmm.
So, like, everybody and it's weird because it's just so much weird shit in this movie. It's a lot of
Yeah.
things, like I said, that once we get into the backstory, things don't make sense.
Yeah.
Why did he go to they mentioned why he went to Oklahoma, but, like, who the fuck did he know in Oklahoma? Where did he go in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
How did he become a cop
How do you become a cop?
on a and I think they say Indian in there, so I'm saying it just keep track on a oh, no, they call it the Reds. He's a
They call it
fucking
the
cop
Reds.
on a
Yeah.
reservation there.
Yeah.
And and his fucking girlfriend is, what do you say, Portuguese? She's Brazilian, so she's Brazilian.
What
She
is
speaks
Maria
Portuguese.
background? She's you talking about the character? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her character, 'cause I think
Valentina.
she's like Italian or some shit. She's white. She
Yeah.
might not be. I don't fucking know.
I was saying in real life, Maria background. I'm pretty sure she's Caucasian, but I don't
She might
know
be
to be
Spa
honest.
she
Once
might be,
again,
from
it's probably
Spain.
mixed.
The
Once
the
again,
point
racially ambiguous. A lot
the
of
point
racially
I'm try
ambiguous people in the
the point I'm
movie is
trying
what
to
we're saying.
make is there's a lot of things in this movie that, like, come out of nowhere. It's like, they mentioned that there's a scene and like I said with the cursing, there's a lot of obnoxious scenes in here. Like, when she shows up, he's talking to James and fucking Ned, whatever the fuck his name is, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, yeah, she's spicy hot, Latina, spicy," and, like, he just keeps saying this shit. It's like what you expect to hear a fucking teenage boy saying when they see a
Yes.
fucking
Yes.
somebody that they think is hot. Like, "Oh, she's spicy Latina, hot, hot." I forgot what the fuck he was saying, but it was
No,
like
that's a direct quote. That's a direct quote.
it got
That's pretty much how the line went.
and mind you, I like this movie because again, it has that '90s nostalgia feel, and that we just when we finished Running Man, we had this whole discussion about we don't have action stars anymore. We don't have
Mhm.
action movies anymore because we don't have action
Action
stars.
stars, yeah.
I still don't consider Dave Batista is probably the closest
He's
to an action
close.
star.
I would
Jason
say he's yeah.
Momoa, he is, but he could be in more.
Yeah.
Um, with the fights that was going on in here, I would definitely say this was I mean, there's no way you look at this and say it's not an action movie, but I feel like we're on the right track. Action movies have never been like huge box office things. It's always been because of the act. So,
Yeah.
I feel like we're on the right track. I feel like we need to get back into this. I want to see more action movies, less dramas. And again, I think they tried to lean too much into the story. Fuck the story. It would have been I think the movie would have been a lot better if they cut down on all the extra shit, like I said, the
Yeah.
extra backstory stuff because they could have just been estranged brothers. They didn't
Mhm.
have to be I don't wanna say hateful because they obviously don't hate each other, but there's some resentment. They didn't have
Yeah.
to be resentful to each other like they were. The whole 2 different moms thing didn't really have to happen because all that we see that they did was James thinks Johnny hates him because he's a bastard, or that's fucked up. It's
I
like
mean, that their
but
words actually, not ours.
and Johnny hates James because he felt like he was intruding on their whole family as a whole because
Mm,
James' mother actually took Johnny in as well.
mhm.
So it's just it's so much going on and not enough at the same time, especially when you had this movie being having a runtime of 2 hours.
Yeah, they coulda cut this
Um,
down for sure.
they
This
they
one
could
scene
have
they for sure coulda cut out, like,
that no,
completely.
they
Yes.
could have that was like 5, 6 minutes that I'll never get
That
back.
whole scene can go, like, just
I feel like they
completely
could have
gone.
left it completely with just the motorcycles.
No, like,
Um,
remove the whole scene gotta go.
no,
Like, that
they
whole bitch gotta go, I'm
if they
sorry.
would have took
No
they would have took
no remnants of that part of the script need to be in there. I'm
4
sorry.
motorcycles. You get rid of the bridge too, because that was too
Mhm,
many cars, and
mhm,
again, the CGI looked terrible.
mhm.
Bro, he ripped the nigga arm off
Arm on
with the
bro, like,
gun still
what?
on it. That's an action movie, nigga.
Nah,
Loved it.
bro. Mind you, we already had a car action scene earlier in that movie. That was our car action scene
But
quota.
now we got
That
2.
yeah, the second one was dumb
No, the
and
second one's terrible. That
unnecessary.
was that shit. I
And,
like I said,
like
outside of the motorcycle part, that scene was terrible. I like the motorcycle part. The rest of that shit was terrible. We didn't need it. They could have kept that shit. Also, the fucking security dude that was in there, like, you sent your main security nigga.
like that's not gonna track back to you. Like somebody who's seen with you all the time. Like, yeah, bro. I'm
I'm
sorry. That scene was terrible. Go ahead and give your
yeah, that's
rating
what I was
for
that's what I was just about to
I
say.
can't believe we're going into the ratings off that note. We just brought up the worst scene in the movie, but
Um,
go ahead.
as a whole, I like the movie. I like the interactions between them. I don't really
Mhm.
like their chemistry just because
Yeah.
how it switches. I felt like if they like I said, the backstory stuff was a little rushed. They could have did without it. Most of the action scenes were on. I would say most of the action scenes were a 10, especially that first one,
First
where
one.
he's fighting two niggas in a small bathroom,
Yeah.
and then he's fighting the third nigga. We forgot to mention. I did say he speaks like he's a fucking teenage boy. That first scene, he's getting out of the shower and he's naked. And then when they come to him, he's naked. This nigga
He's taking a
turns
piss, actually.
around.
He wasn't even in the
Hell yes, what it
shower.
was.
He
He's taking a
was
piss.
mid-piss.
He turns around, pees on one nigga, and then later they got a knife. The nigga shakes himself at him and says, "Sir, fight." Which it was funny, but I'm like, yo, what the fuck is
What kind of
happening right now,
childish ass
dog?
shit am I watching? Facts.
So like you really get the sense of why something happened right before that. You understand why. He's a
Mhm.
fucking giant child. The action scenes, like I said, they were on point. Even the last action scene was fucking good. I was not expecting that fight between Jason Momoa and that other dude. The fight between James and Nakamura, who again is a Yakuza guy. This nigga just shows up at some point. It's
Out the
like,
blue.
okay. I thought he's gonna be more of a threat. I am going to give this. I really want to say it's above a polite applause, but it's not a standing ovation. So you know what? I'm gonna say an applause. I feel like a polite applause.
Just just
Yeah, just an
applause.
applause.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's better than applause. Like a polite applause is kind of like
Yeah.
that's the shit I do when motherfuckers like, hey, let's give a shout out to Mister Jones for getting Employee of the Month. Like, okay, nigga, I don't give
Yeah,
a
yeah.
shit.
Fair enough.
But
Fair
the
enough.
applause is like, I would watch a second one.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think even like you said, I feel like they should have had him as retired, but they don't. He's
Yeah.
he's actively working. The nigga says at one point, he's like, "Yeah, the recruits are this, they're that." It's like
Yeah, he seems like he's more, like, on the training side versus,
he's
like,
very,
actually being an active duty, though.
and at some point, and this is in the trailer, the cop says, "I know who you are. You're commander of this." And I'm done, but I want to say because this is something that I should have wrote down. If you've ever seen the TV show Hawaii Five O, I don't think you have,
I
but
haven't, no.
Hawaii Five O starts off with Commander McGarrett, who's a Navy SEAL. His
Mhm,
father dies. He's murdered. I don't remember if he caught the murder, but his father died. He leaves his Navy post to go bury his father,
mhm.
and then he finds some things that point to him being murdered. The governor, who somehow knows his father for some reason, again, you see some similarities here,
Hey.
but the governor gives him a special police task force. Mind you, he's not a police officer
Mhm.
to catch criminals. And so, and again, Navy SEAL commander, it's just like that similarity of us like in Hawaii on Honolulu. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on here?
So, a Hawaii Five-O fan may
Like
have written this script. That's fair.
even
A lot
him,
of similarities.
him being this Navy SEAL that's training, and this nigga got this full ass gray beard, fucking tatted up like mother. He should
Mhm.
have been retired. He did not need to be an active Navy SEAL in this movie because outside of that first scene that we meet him and him being in uniform when he talks to one of the police detectives, there's no mention of this nigga being a Navy SEAL. There's
Yeah,
no, it's like it's not. There's no reason.
yeah, yeah.
I like the movie though.
I'm yeah, I liked it too. I liked it too, despite some of the flaws in this are kinda glaring though to me, like,
Yeah,
overall, I enjoyed it. Action scenes outside of one were really good. Chemistry between your 2 stars was on point. The comedy hit when it was supposed to. The only side character I really liked was Pika. The rest of the side characters were just kinda there just
yeah,
because they needed other characters in the movie besides Batista and Jason Momoa. At least that's how it felt to me. And I really liked overall just the fun vibe this movie had.
it was
That being
fun.
said, there was a lot of there's just a lot of action tropes that we've just seen before that were just rinse and repeated in this, which I'm not going to kick the movies back in too much for that, but after a certain point, those get tiring. And if you've seen the movie, you know what tropes I'm talking about because they're in every other action movie you've seen. I really cannot put into words how much I hated that freeway scene. That like that
Hey, you
that shit
sounded
was
like me.
so terrible.
You sounded like me with, highest to
Highest to
lows.
low, but the what the level of vitriol you have for highest to lowest is about the same that I had for that freeway scene. Cause like I'm watching it, I'm like, it feels like this movie stopped and turned into a different movie for a scene,
It turned
and
to
then
Fast and
went back
Furious
to the movie that I was. It literally turned into Fast and Furious for a scene,
because
and then went right back.
we didn't mention that girlfriend who was a banker decides that in the middle of them being shot at and chased, she's gonna drive,
Oh yeah, she's Vin Diesel now. You ain't know?
and
You wasn't hit?
that shit, like,
Yeah, she's
that
Vin
like you
Diesel,
said, that
bro. You
whole
wasn't hit?
thing was,
Yeah,
"Hey,
yeah, no, yeah.
you already got Jason Momoa, you got a car on a freeway and a helicopter, Fast and the Furious, nigga."
Fast and Furious. At that point, that's exactly what that scene was. And but it's like the movie wasn't, granted, the movie was a little over the top before it got to that point. But
Was.
that point was when they said,
No,
yeah,
way,
logic, fuck
way.
that. We're going off the rails here. So yeah, that scene, hated it. And I feel like this movie kind of started to fall apart a little bit towards the third act when they just started rushing a lot of things. They
Yeah.
started rushing reveals about certain characters. They started rushing the relationships and the development of certain relationships between certain characters. Like things just it just kind of went like, oh shit, we've been spending 2 hours with this. Fuck, there's like pieces of the story we gotta like wrap up. So let's just do that shit real quick. And that's literally what the third act of this movie felt like. I feel like this movie started off well, kept me engaged, even through the third, because there's scenes in the
The
third
movie
act I
started
like.
off great,
Great.
I'll even say.
Yeah, and there's scenes in the third act I still really like, but I feel like the third act is by far the weakest part
The
of this
weakest, yeah,
movie, and it definitely
100%.
starts to unravel as you get further into it. Um, I'm gonna give this one a polite applause because this kind of feels like you said, polite applause is what you give when somebody give employee of the month. You're like, eh. Let's just say I kind of like this dude, but nigga, I want it to be employee of the month, so I'm like, I guess I fucks with you, but
He
like
said,
I'm
"Yeah,
not
that's my
gonna go
dog,"
crazy
but,
about it. But like I feel like it should have been me. That's kind of where I'm
hey,
at
no,
with
that's
this. That's
crazy. You it ain't even that's not a polite applause then, because if your
that's a
boy get
hating
employed,
applause.
that's a hating applause.
I didn't say he was my boy. I said I rock with him.
I
Not all
don't
your
rock
coworkers are your best friends. I mean, you gotta kick it with them outside of work.
I only rock with motherfuckers I'm cool with. Outside of that, that's my coworker. We talk from time to time. They cool.
Okay, then cool, fine. That's my
Yeah,
coworker
I'm
who I'm
cool with
cool
them,
with. I'm
but I
cool
don't
with
rock
him.
with them.
I'm cool with him. We ain't kicking it outside of work, but I'm cool with him. All right, bro, you got
Yeah.
employee of the month. All right, cool. At least it was you and not one of these other motherfuckers in here that I hate. So that's all right. That's cool. That's cool. That's yeah. Polite applause for
I
me as
love
well on
that,
that one.
analogy.
Yeah,
It's like
that's kind of where I'm at with
it's
this.
like one of your coworkers winning employee of the month, but I won it.
But I wanted it. Yeah,
That
I
just
wanted
sound
it.
like some hating ass shit though.
It's some hating that shit, but guess what? It's parts of this movie I hated. So it fits. It fits perfectly, if you ask
I'm
me.
Listen, I ain't got nothing, man. That scene was insane. It was
That
insane and
scene that
not in a good way.
somebody needs their ass whooped for putting
100%.
their pen to paper and
Um,
writing that out. I'm
One
sorry.
thing we didn't do is we didn't talk about the director, which was Angel Manuel Soto, who
Yes,
directed
do want
Blue
to give him a
Beetle,
quick
which
shout out.
I enjoyed Blue Beetle.
I enjoy Blue Beetle as well. So I do want to give him a shout out for that. He's 2 for 2 so far as films that I enjoyed. Granted, neither one of those are films I'm going to write home about or probably revisit that
Yeah.
often, but quality, good time, shove popcorn in my face and forget about life for a little minute. Both of those films can fall in that category. So if y'all have seen The Wrecking Crew, let us know your thoughts. It's on Amazon Prime right now. So should be able, if you have a subscription or membership, which damn near everybody does, should be able to go on there and watch it no problem. Always continue to like, comment, subscribe. We do appreciate all the support. And until the next time, this is the Real Junkies. Peace.